Good evening, everyone, and I'm back with another fabulous episode where we are going to chat with our featured author. You all have been enjoying the featured author chats that we've been having, as I can make out from the comments that we get. And today, with me is featured author of September, and you all already know who she is. She's Lakshmi Natraj, and I think again, like I always say that the authors that we have had are also amazing. They're really talented. But what really endears me, about them, I think, is that they are so warm. Like even she is an amazing person, and very warm, very down to earth. And I'm sure we will get to learn a lot from her journey and her books as well, which the BTP kids have enjoyed reading. So I don't want to waste any more time, and I'll get her on stream. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Actually, it's my pleasure and honor to be here with you. And a great personality like Anupama with so many feathers in her cap and so many this one. And she's sitting and interviewing me is really, I'm blessed.
Please, ma'am, please. It's my honor.
Platform. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And I would just like to introduce Lakshmi Natraj, ma'am, for you all. Though, of course, I'm sure you've already, read about her on our post. I'm sure you also read the review. So one of her students reviewed one of her books for us. So I'm sure you've seen all that. But yes, for the benefit of those who probably have missed our post. So Lakshmi Natraj is a science and mathematics teacher by profession. That's pretty interesting, because then becoming a writer, so that's a great balance. But has always been a storyteller, starting with writing plays for children in school and making up tales for her children. She has become a full-time writer after her retirement. Focused on stimulating curiosity in young children, she has authored 6 science fictions as adventure stories for the young adults and 6 crime thrillers for adults, along with short stories in magazines like Champak, which I have also loved a lot. She's an active blogger in WordPress.com, Fuzia.com, and Story Mirror platform, and has penned several short stories and poems. So we are ready for, have like probably 30 minutes or whatever, 45 minutes of a chat of lots of nuggets of wisdom from you, ma'am. So I will start by asking you that how did the love for writing and stories develop in you, or do you remember when was that? Because we all experience that, we find that love at different stages. I, as some people say that it was a childhood thing, for some it happens later. So if you could just talk about how did you develop that interest and love.
Yeah, it's for me also in childhood. Our father used to be a great storyteller. So just after dinner, we all will sit around because those days there were no TV and all. And he used to tell us Ramayana, Mahabharata and all epic story. But the great thing is he was a great narrator. He will literally enact that, and we will never get tired of hearing the same story so many times. So just around maybe 8-year-old or something like that. Because he was in army, we shifted base so many times, and I went through so many mediums. Like originally I was in Hindi medium, then I shifted to Malayalam medium, etc., etc. Then the school where I joined in Pune,
that's interesting.
Tamil was a compulsory subject in that school, though it's an English medium school. And I wasn't knowing any Tamil. I just know the script, but I don't know that. Then my father said, come on, you read the stories. By the time you read the story, you know how to construct sentence and all that. So I started reading stories. But that ended up in this, just reading. And just like you said, Champak, those days we used to have Chanda Mama. Even it's now also available. And then there are so many.
Of course.
All this children's book, etc. And then going into school, then all library books and everything was there. And how I learned storytelling is, in our school there is a habit, if a teacher is absent and a substitute teacher comes, to keep the control of the class, they will say, will somebody tell a story? And everybody will say, Lakshmi. And I will be waiting for a chance. And then all the stories I learned, and I will be just telling them. And I never get tired of that. But for writing as such,
Lovely.
there was not a much of a scope because there was like no competition, nothing, etc.
Yes,
But
yes.
afterwards, when I joined as a teacher in the school, very surprising, the same school where I learned, I joined in Pune as a teacher with some of my own
Okay.
teachers as colleagues. So there I was made in charge of dramatics because they know that I can do acting and all. So then I started writing plays for children. Those all I used to write in Tamil. And developed and developed till I write nearly I wrote 3 hours play for the children. And also there was an amateur club. I used to write them also. And that is how I was non-officially writing.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting to know. That's why I love doing these featured author interviews, because I feel you get. I mean, everyone has such a different and unique and interesting story. It's always good to know that. One thing I was very curious to know, ma'am, that you've been a teacher, and I remember even Archana once mentioning that that how your students are still so bonded with you. And I remember, I think she'd written about it somewhere, or probably she'd mentioned. So I'm sure over the years you have had a lot of experiences and anecdotes, with kids of all ages probably. So I was just wondering that when you write stories, because you've written a lot of novels for children, so do you draw from those experiences that you've had? Because you've been like a first hand privy to talking to kids and seeing how their world is. So how much of your real experiences becomes somewhere a part of the stories that you create?
But actually, it's the other way around, I will say. My storytelling helped me to become a good teacher. Because, I was all the time teaching physics and mathematics, and that also all through and through 10th standard children. And, maths is okay, but physics is a bit of dry, and to teach them, it's a bit laws and everything, not so good. So then I used to, in between, add some stories or give some life situations to them. Because I said
Right,
already was a storyteller, I can cook up story fast. So then,
right, right.
so I told them, even every one of you, even a child knows Newton's law. What child knows? Then we'll say, okay, you give a chocolate to the child and tell her that she can eat it only the next morning. So she keeps it under the pillow. Okay, everybody will say yes. Next day morning, where will she look? She will look under the pillow. Will it be there? It will be there. So that's Newton's law. Because according to Newton's law, any object remains at rest will remain at rest and continue to remain in rest unless compelled by an external force.
Yes.
Even the child knows. So that's how then children are interested. So like that, I used to combine in lot stories. And whenever sometime 8th period, the last period is maths, then children will be tired. Teacher, we are tired. Then I used to be very kind to my children. I have never ever punished any child in my life. Never send out anybody,
That's
never
so
use their
lovely. And I
homework.
completely
Because
believe that,
those
ma'am, because
children
you
are the
have those
precious,
vibes.
some precious property of some parents, and they are handing that to us. So we are there to guide them. So suppose the children say we are very tired and we don't want to study, then I will tell them. I mean that how they have that much freedom to tell me that. Then I will tell them, okay, only we will do
Right.
about 10-20 minutes maths and then story. Then they will say yes, yes. Then I will finish the maths and tell them some story. And even now, 40 years back, whom I taught in Pune, yesterday that student talked to me and he said, Madam, we still remember how you introduced us to reading. And we are reading story because of that. So it was a part of that. So, and then using that, children's experience with me is I actually wrote one total book, like the teacher's diary, where specific problems which were
Okay.
there in the children's life I have mentioned, so that it will be helpful to all the parents. But otherwise, if you
Yes.
see,
Yes.
any story we write has some life experiences. You can't just draw from the
Of course.
anywhere from that. Anything and everything you see, that goes and
Right.
settles in your mind somewhere, and then it becomes a story. So everyone have stories
Yeah.
inside them, provided they have the patience to write.
Yes, yes, that point I completely agree with. That we have to have that patience, to bring that story out in the way that we want to. And I also very much like the point that you mentioned about how you said that you never punished your students, because you always thought that parents are trusting, and they're so precious for them, so we need to approach them with that kind of empathy and love. As a mentor, even I try to follow that philosophy, and there's definitely so much to learn from you on that, ma'am. So I would just like to tell our audience that if you have any questions for Lakshmi Nataraj ma'am, please feel free to post, and as and when time permits, I will take up your questions with her. Now, moving on to my next question. I wanted to know the story behind your first book, because I feel that first book is always really very special, of course, and for that to happen, I'm sure a lot goes behind it. So yeah, if you could just tell us a little bit about how it happened, and what was your experience like, and also what was the response like.
Okay, as I told you, after leaving Pune and coming to Bombay also, I was not into professional writing except writing some small scripts and all.
Right.
And I worked my school service even before I retired, about 5 to 8 years before my retirement date. I left the school and then I joined SNDT Juhu, Women's University,
Okay.
with the
Yes,
intention
yes.
of doing PhD in education. For a very long time, that was on my head. I had to do PhD in
Okay.
education. So there we were asked to study a subject called as Women Study Certificate course for 1 year, and that will be equivalent to MPhil. So then we studied that, and that was the first time I saw the other side of women's life. Till then, I had
Hmm.
never heard about domestic violence, dowry death, bride burning, and female fetus being aborted,
Right.
compelled prostitution, and above all, child prostitution.
Yes.
It used
Yes.
to hurt me very badly. I feel so disappointed because we can't do anything in this society. Sitting somewhere, we are nicely enjoying a life, but so many people are suffering. So then I used to write them as a poem, and they used to
Exactly.
get published in the college magazine. And there, all my friends said, "You are writing fabulous. Then you should try publishing it." Then first time I send a story, the deep roots of mango tree, and send it to Women's Vera. Then that got published. And not only it got published, that author, that editor was so nice. She gave me feedback that your narration is too good. Go ahead and keep on writing. You're a very good writer. So then I went on writing short stories, and then I wrote very short stories in Champak for children. Then there was a Gokulam magazine and all that. But this all went for 2 years. I have written a number of stories. Then I said, when you write in a magazine, it goes somewhere in a corner. After 6 months or something, you get a copy, or sometime you may not get. So I want a book where my name will be there. So I sat and wrote a big story. The first story, The Adventure of Magic Eye. See, this,
Oh,
this is a book. And
wow.
this
Looks very
idea
interesting. And
had
the
come,
cover is very intriguing.
and this ideas actually is that in
Lovely.
childhood I used to read Enid Blyton's story, where she used to write the Island of Adventure,
Ah,
the River of Adventure, Mountain of Adventure, my favorite. So actually, I'm a sort of copycat. I took that same like to children, and then they go on to adventure like that. But she used to write a normal adventures. But because I'm a science teacher, I thought when child read a book, he should get some information. So I put a lot of science into that. And one of the hero of the
right.
book, he is a special, he got some special power, but I don't say it's a magic power. That power comes because of a scientific reason. I explained also how he got that power. So because of that power, and naturally there will be a scientist and a robo. So that robo, in some it will be a tortoise, and in some it will be a rabbit. DNA, digitally, this one altered DNA, and all that, lot of science into that. So it will be an adventure. Plus, it's very nice. And one
Yeah.
after other, I wrote. The
Right.
first book was directly published because maybe that Vishwa Vijay people are the same who published The Woman's Era and Champa. So probably they knew my name, so the story was accepted. And literally me and my daughters danced that day, my first book. And then 4 to 5 books, all the books, every one year I wrote as a sequel to those one. And they all got published. But then I said, why I'm writing children book? I should write a crime. And once I wrote that book, I hit the wall. I did not publish it. Publisher after public for 4 years, everybody tell the same thing. Your story is very good. Your idea is very good, but it's not polished. You don't know how to write. You're not experienced or something like that. And then the publishers were asking for money to publish. In those days, I didn't know self-publishing is people have to pay. But I didn't want to spend money to publish my book. So about 4 years I had to go around and then got it published. And similarly, some 4 books, each book was a struggle. But ultimately they got published. And then my daughter told me that we need not trouble everything.
Lovely. And that's amazing.
My book, and she uploaded it as ebook in Amazon. So you need not ask anybody. So we have our own book, and I get the happiness of readers reading.
Yes.
So that's good enough for me.
Right.
So my books are ebooks,
correct.
And the next book is coming.
Okay, great, ma'am. So, actually, I think your perseverance is amazing because you said you actually, kept trying for 4 years. And I think this is a huge learning for us also because I think today we tend to give up easily. So I think that is really commendable. And also, of course, now we have KDP. I think Archana has also shared the link to one of your ebooks, which is Teacher's Diaries. So she just has shared the link, so the people can definitely check out the books of ma'am. There are many. Okay, wonderful. And I'll just show you a few more comments. Okay, so there's a comment. Wow, so proud to see you here.
This is my second not
lovely. And then Alafia is saying, "Oh, she's really wowed by this talk." And I think one of your students is here, Rebecca. I'll just show her as well.
She's my lovely student.
Yeah. So she says, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So Rebecca says, so proud of my school teacher. You're always my inspiration. That's lovely, ma'am. And I think this is the impact a teacher creates, I mean, a teacher is, I think, a teacher for life. You might retire, but then, the impact and the bond that we create, I think that's always forever. So that's really lovely. Now I wanted to know that, ma'am, because you have written for adults and you've also written children. So when you write, how is your approach different, keeping in mind, the target readers? I mean, when you write for children versus, when you write for adults, is there any change in your writing approach? Are there any things which you keep in mind? Because that might help us also, the newer writers who probably aim to write for children as well as adults. So if you could just share that process, if there's any difference between both and what the difference is.
Yeah, when I write for children, I know they are young children who are reading the book. So the book is, the language is really very simple. And secondly, there is no violence in my story. I don't even call criminals. I call them as bad men.
Okay.
So there won't be any murdering, there won't be any killing, nothing. Actually, the boys will only catch the bad people and tie them up, and the police will catch them. So this way I see that it is clean. There is no violence anywhere. There will be some adventure, but nothing like which will frighten or which will be bad for children. But when I write for elders again, actually there will be the story to keep them interested. It will start generally with a murder. But again here, mostly my language is simple. That has come as a habit for me. And I don't write any description because I think that
Okay.
distracts. At least to me, it is not needed. Like what she was wearing and how she was walking, etc. Not needed.
Okay.
And secondly, I never use a curse word. I'm against that. I don't know, nowadays people think it's a fashion. Even in all movie, everything they use very bad words.
It's a
And
censored
none
food.
of the character will either drink or smoke. Forget about drug. Because those are bad habits. Why should I write as a teacher? My books should be clean. Sometimes my grandchildren, without my knowing, they will sneak in and read my story. Let them read because there's nothing wrong. It's a
Right.
nice story.
Right.
Yeah, that's my motto.
Lovely. Nice, nice. So, so you mean even when you write for adults, you take care of these things, right? Like, I mean, it's not just about kids,
Yeah.
but even in the books that you've written for adults, you keep in mind all of these factors. That's wonderful, I think, because writers do have a responsibility as well, along with the creative freedom that we have. So yes, that I absolutely agree with that, man. So I'll again just want to maybe show you a couple of comments. I think a lot of your students are watching this today. So Rekha Iyer says, "Hello, ma'am. Really happy to see and proud to have studied under you in 1974 batch. My God, like that's so many years ago, and they still value you.
Pune.
That's truly
Pune.
amazing, and I'm feeling so happy." And Archana says that no swear words rule at home. Also, teacher always.
Yeah.
I think Archana, that's how it is, and I see that upbringing in her also. Because she's my friend and I've interacted with
I
her.
never use
So
bad
yeah, I'm
words.
sure.
When you are scolding your children, also, there's no need to use bad words. You be strict, but it doesn't matter
Correct.
that you have to use bad words.
Right. I agree. Okay, so now coming to the book which was read by the BTB kids, so we are of course celebrating you this month as our featured author of the month, and you are a part of our BTB Wall of Fame. So the book which was reviewed by one of our students and which was also read by a few others was Adventures of Arav and Raghu, and it is really an interesting book. I mean, if you must have even read the review of the student, they're like totally going
I do.
gaga over it. So I just wanted to know how, particularly about this book, like how did you get the idea for writing such an, I think it's a fun, adventure where there is so much of like, thrill and suspense, but at the same time, you're like really having fun along the way. So yes, how did you get the idea for these characters and, in general, like the premise as well of the story?
The fun is, this is a story which I wrote 30 years back when my children were kids. Yeah. When they were kids, I used to tell them story wherein they will be heroines. So then I thought, why not? So in a notebook with a pen, I wrote this story, and the characters were two girls, Archana, Jyotsana, and of course, Bird is imaginary. And my second daughter, Jyotsna, is a little naughty. She will always go and catch this lizard or frog and everything to frighten Archana because she's a very soft girl. So the characters I took like that and made up, of course, stories. But nobody want to publish it. It was accepted by so many people, nearly about 80 times. Even one cinema producer, 3 TV producers, they took it, but somehow it never materialized. So it was sleeping in my box. Now, when I have published so many stories, many times the publishers ask me, Madam, can you give us some story? So one of them asked, and I said, I got a children's story only. He said, yes, I will publish it. And then I said, okay, now Archana, Jyotsna are all grown up. So I changed the girls into boys of Arav and Raghavan, who are my grandchildren. And their nature is also like that. Arav is very soft spoken, and Raghavan is very naughty, Archana's son. So I put them there, and that is the story. I actually got a sequel also for this book, still with me.
Ah, nice, interesting. That was some trivia, ma'am. Like I was absolutely having no idea about this. So that was so much fun to know and very interesting. And I think it's interesting that Archana's son is the naughtier one, right? You said. So probably, it's always the alternate generation. Nice. That Okay, so now like being a mentor, and I've interacted with so many children. I see that there is one genre of writing which generally kids always, they want to either read, or even when they write, they tend to, write stories in that particular genre, which is adventure or mystery. So this is always a favorite with the children, in the experience of interacting with so many kids. This is something which they always, want to read, and they like writing also. So I thought, that probably you're the perfect person to give the kids, at BTB, and even the ones who are watching, that, what are the little tips they can keep in mind when they write a story of, in this particular genre, and, how to make it effective, because, they do attempt, and I'm sure each, kind of story, say when you're writing an emotional story, there are other things you need to keep in mind. But when it comes to, adventure and mystery, there are, something else that you can definitely keep in mind to write more effective stories. So some, nuggets of wisdom from you there for the children, that, how they can write better stories in this genre.
Actually, I find the present generation, they are all very smart. They are all very
Yeah.
smart. Earlier, once I went to one school for this storytelling or creative writing something. And then after explaining all this, I just gave 2 lines of a story and I told them, you complete it. And I was amazed. I said, I will give 3 prizes. I had to give 20 prizes because all of them were so much imagination for them. So similarly, writing for children is very easy. Now, if they want adventure, remember something. What's an adventure? Something unexpected. So you have 3 part of the story. First, you begin very normal. Secondly, suddenly something happens which shocks everybody. Like you are all sitting for a lunch, and suddenly you put on the TV, and a snake comes out. A snake out of the
Yes.
TV, and
Shock factor.
everybody
Yeah.
now you don't know, and then it goes back there, and now you don't know what to do. Or the TV is on fire. Then what you will do immediately? There's so much chaos. You may call this one; they will come and put out the fire. But suppose the fire is going to catch the whole house, what you will carry to run out? Then the boy will say, "I will take my Lego set." Then father will say, "We have to take our ATM card, we had to take. Then we had to take our passport." There is so much chaos.
Right.
Everybody will put it. You create all this, you write all that. And then once this conflict, you have to solve it. Then you can say ultimately when everybody came to catch the snake and all, they open, they find it wasn't a snake. It was just a rubber snake somebody has put, like anticlimax like that. Or if it is fire or something like that. Or you have another situation like, see, the school bus is going for picnic, while coming, you have become late, and you are just crossing a jungle and your bus tire broke. I mean, puncture happened. Now you are all there near a jungle, it has become dark, and now you all get frightened. There are some noise, you think there are lion and tigers there, and everybody is frightened. The teachers have to handle them. And one boy says, "No, teacher, I want to go to bathroom." And then one will say, "I want my mummy now, I am frightened." And all this situation, you write, what happens? And somebody says, "My water bottle is over, I'm very thirsty. How will you go in the jungle?" And then you will solve it. By the time the teacher phoned near police station, they immediately arranged for a big bus. The bus came and picked like that. But this situation where that conflict is there, and how you expand, use your imagination, everything which is not generally possible. Because what really never happens is story. So you just write that, and all of you can write. And if
Exactly.
you all
Yeah.
write a story and you want it, you can send to me. I will give you my email address. Send to me. I'll be too happy to read your stories.
Wow, that is, I think, a great offer from ma'am there. So, all of you who are watching, feel free to share your stories with ma'am, and you can reach out to even us if you want to reach out to her. And it's, I think, there can be nothing more valuable, I think, than getting feedback from you on our stories. So, that, thank you so much for that. So, I'll just probably comment. So, there is a comment from Raji who says, "Very proud of
A
you,
very good
Lakshmi." Looks
friend.
like somebody you know.
Yeah, good friend. And her children and my
Okay, that's
children are
lovely.
friends.
It's so nice that your students, your friends, your family are all here today to watch you.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
It's my second daughter, Jyotsna.
Wonderful. Okay, so ma'am, okay, acha, acha. Okay, the one you were talking about, lovely. So,
Nothing.
now my final question before we go to our rapid fire round is that, you know, we were in fact even before this live started, we were talking about the general reading habits in children today and the kind of exposure they get. What is your view of how important reading is, not just to be a good writer but in general, in life? Why do you think books or literature is important? And do you see that the interest today is probably not as much as it used to be in books? And if at all that's true, if at all that's what you think, what do you think that we can do better to maybe inculcate this habit in the children? So yeah, your thoughts on that.
Yeah, reading habit is a very good habit, even if you're not going to be a writer or you go for any profession, because every reading adds knowledge
Right.
to you. So, as I told you, started reading right from I think I was 10-year-old to now. I will be 80 years on 26th September. That's my date of birth. So, till
Oh
then,
my
of all
God.
20 years, I think I would have read about 45,000 books. And I read in English, in Hindi,
Amazing.
and Tamil. And not that only fiction. I used to read, even think there is one this one saint called as Ramana Maharishi. Once there was some function in our school along with him. Then we brought a lot of books. So everything about philosophy, life, death, and all that topic. And everything about Gita, what it says, the people write, about Gita, it's saying and everything. This is all this. I also I have read a lot of psychology book out of interest. Because in B.Ed, we have one subject called as educational psychology. And because knowing some of psychology is very necessary to handle the children. But out of my curiosity, I used to bring
Yes.
some 8 books every day home and read. And every reading just adds. And you will never feel lonely anytime you are there. And even if you are in reading, I still remember all those stories just going around in my head. If people should read. And supposing, as you ask, nowadays the children have the cell phone and game and everything. Compulsory
Right,
parents
right.
say sometime may say half an hour today is reading time. We all will sit. The parents should spend time with them. If unfortunately nowadays parents are very busy. Suppose you have grandparents, then you are lucky. Grandparents or aunt at home. Otherwise, one of your parents, father or mother, should sit and say, "This story we'll read." Or read
Yes.
half and let us see how we will complete the story on your own, something of that type. And after reading about it for some days, they will get hooked into that. Then they will start reading. They have to
Yes.
read.
Yes, I
Reading is
agree.
very,
I
very
agree.
important to add to your knowledge. And especially in old age, suppose you are all alone and all that, the best friend is only your books. You can read and you will never feel lonely.
Excellent. Yes, I completely agree with everything that you said. And I think it's very important for the adults to get involved. I think that is something which probably, somewhere is missing because everybody's busy. But I think we have to try that at least, one parent or, like you said, the grandparent, somebody at home is able to get the kids involved because they should feel that, yeah, it's fun, right? And I love that idea of completing a story. Like, even I sometimes recommend that to some parents and it
That's the
always
best
works.
way.
Like, even with my daughter.
Best way.
Yes.
The children have high level of
True, true, true,
imagination.
true. And
Rebecca.
right, right. And Rebecca says the same thing about you, that the present generation needs more of teachers like her, a bundle of energy, positivity, and creativity. Her presence simply brings the best out of us, and I'm lucky.
So much nice girl.
That's really a sweet message from Rebecca. Yes. So I think we really learned so much from you, ma'am. And And before we actually wrap up, I want to do a fun round. So we've talked so much about books and writing. So I thought, so I do this with all my guests. So just to know them a little better. So it's a fun Jaldi 5 round, basically, which means that I'll be asking you 5 questions, and you just need to answer it rapidly, basically. So are you ready, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So the first question is coffee or tea? What do you prefer?
Tea. Surprising, no? I enjoy
Tea.
nowadays
Okay, so you're a tea.
with ginger.
Yeah, I'm drinking coffee. Okay, nice, nice. Okay. Yeah. So my next question is, what is that one thing which is most relaxing for you?
Most? Sorry, come
Most
again.
relaxing, like something which really relaxes your mind, the thing that really
Music.
makes you
Music.
relaxed and
Music sung by
music.
children.
Wow. Acha, that's
there
nice.
is one YouTube. You have one Surya Gayatri, one girl, and some Mr. Pai. They have done all sort of semi gods, slokas, and everything. I put on the night from the morning, it will be there till 1 o'clock. Because when the small children are, I feel as if I'm in the school. They all sing. Music is mostly relaxing.
Lovely. Nice, 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 nice. Nice. Great. Okay. The next question is a day at the beach or a day in the mountains. What would you prefer? Beach or mountains?
Beach. I would like to go to mountain. More, actually, better a forest. I love to go to a forest.
वो तो है. That's probably the best. Nice, nice. Okay. If you could interview one author today, whom would you choose and why?
Arthur Healy. He was a fantastic author. Arthur Healy, who is the author of Airport and Hotel and all. I got a habit. Once I pick up one author, I will read all the books of that author, finished completely.
Acha.
So he got an explicit way of writing everything about the topic. So once you read Airport, you know everything A to Z about it. Then about the car, everything about car business. Then the money changers, then you know everything about this one. So I wish I could see him and then I could ask and talk to him.
Right. Right. That's a very interesting choice, I must say, over there. And the last quick 5 question from me is, so there's also a question from the audience, so I'll just probably take that up once I'm done. Yeah, so the last Jaldi 5 question from me is that, which is that recent book which you read, which you read and went like, wow, something recent, like, whichever you remember, which you really loved.
Recent book. Very surprisingly, the recent books 3 were my favorite author didn't like. I'm not able to recall. Sorry. Because I used to love this Robin Cook, who writes science fiction, and I bought 2 of his books. But somehow that I was not very happy with those books. I actually put it in the Facebook also. Probably somebody ghost writing in his name or what. They don't look like his books. But,
yeah, possibly.
Well, it happens. Honestly, it happens nowadays because they are so busy and then somebody else. Sure. Because it's not like Robin would have written. Because there is more like other description and everything in the story. I just skipped all the pages. I read the last 10 pages and he ended the story. I mean, I will never do such a thing. I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall anything so nice. Because now I have my head filled with web series, because I watch a lot of web series.
Oh, so which are the web series maybe like which you love? Probably you can share that. Any particular web series you would like to recommend?
Yeah, that is that, what do you call, when people are caught, what do you call them? Some man kidnaps somebody, what do you call them? Keep them as, see, I'm not getting nowadays name.
I am not sure, ma'am. But actually, I am somebody who has not watched most of the web
But
series,
nowadays I watch
so I
because
am not.
more than movie, the web series are short and the Good Doctor, that was also very good. The Good Doctor actually Archana suggested to
Okay,
me on the
okay.
Insta. Yeah, actually a
Acha.
autistic boy becomes a surgeon. That was also a very good one.
Okay. Lovely. Nice, nice, ma'am. So thank you so much for sharing, that little bit of personal facts about you. It was nice knowing you more. So we have a couple of questions from the audience. Maybe we could just take that before we wrap up. So Aarti Bhatia, she's also a writer, and she asks, which is the best environment to pen down something, like according to you?
Generally it's better to have a peaceful atmosphere. If you got children moving around or something in the
Mhm.
kitchen, etc., what I do know, it's a two part of story. When I'm doing
Right.
all my work in kitchen or anything, the story will be running into my head, and night time when I sit I write quite. I think it should be little peaceful when you write without getting disturbed.
Yes. Night is a time for me also, generally, when the mind works, because I think we are so distracted otherwise during the day. So, yes, that's true, ma'am. And Rebecca is asking something which you, of course, did talk about. So, her question is with so much social media influence, tips to get children back to the habit of reading. So, of course, you did mention about, sitting with the children and reading and, kind of making it fun for them. Anything else do you think parents can do? For
Yeah, the
tackling this issue?
parents should also not use cell phone and everything when the children are around. If they are all sitting
Wow.
for dinner
Yeah.
and the parents keep on looking into the cell phone, you can't tell you don't play game or anything. Parents
Yes.
should
True,
spend
true,
some
true.
time with them. I mean, you need not take
Yes.
up their
Maybe
lesson.
setting
Very few
examples.
people take up their lesson. That's not necessary. Just sit with them and chat. What happened in the school? You know that Raghavan, he tells me everything what he
Hmm.
doesn't tell Archana. Because I keep on asking him what happened in the schools, how he jumped out of the window, what he did, everything. Keep chatting. That brings a bondage between you and your children. And once that is bought, no, you can. That is the only way we can hold and we can advise them. If you sit
Yes.
with them only for doing your homework, it is not good. You should spend time constructively, lovingly, where you just chat with them. And don't boast about yourself like I scored a high mark and all that. Instead, you say all stupid things you did in the school. They will be very happy. They will become your friends.
Wow, that was a great piece of advice. And I think it's so important for us to realize that, the conversations have to go beyond school and homework, like you said, about, just talking about general stuff. And, like you said, just talk crazy things with them. I think that truly builds a bond. And once that is done, then yes, they are more receptive to listening to you, like, what you're saying. So the great, I think your wisdom, your energy, your positivity, your humility, ma'am. I think I'm just so impressed by everything. And I truly hope that, if all of us can learn even a bit from that, we'll surely do well in life. So thank you so much for
Everybody
being
has
here.
that, but what happens is it's a type of service you get. I was very lucky to get into the service of a teacher. So what happened? I spend my whole time with the children happily. I don't have any
Yes,
tension. So this give me
yes,
time to do my other things and all. But generally, suppose nowadays everybody's the job tension is so much. Even after coming home, you get calls and this one time things, etc. People don't get time, so it's very difficult for them to relax and go into that. So we can't be blamed. It's the way we live. Unless compulsorily you put an
yes.
alarm, so 1 hour in a day or half an hour, I'm going to forget everything and become a free dance, sing, do anything.
Right, right. Right, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, ma'am. So with this, we come to the end of this interview. Though I wish I could chit chat more with you. Maybe I'll definitely catch up someday personally with you. So thank you so much once again for taking our time to talk to us and sharing all your life experiences. It was really a wonderful experience, and also thank you for associating with Beyond the Box. It is truly an honor.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is equally mine. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to the audience who joined today's podcast. Okay. Bye. And I will see you again next month with our next featured of the author of the month, who is again an amazing author. And I'm sure we'll have a great time celebrating her work as well. So bye.